It's time for floor questions.
Floor questions.
We don't have our big tripod with us. What can I say?
Yeah.
We improvised.
Fair.
The number one thing that you guys have been asking us is, well, I think it started as, are you going to move to the UK? You seem like you like it. Would you move here? Which I think we've basically said yes.
Yeah, we would consider moving here, yeah.
The next question, and the one that I think kind of is more prominent now, is when are you moving? And
That's a difficult process.
yeah, unfortunately, we don't have an answer for that. Right now, we are just going to be traveling. We're going to be spending a few months here. Basically, we can't be here for more than 6 months, but we decided, since we are bringing our dog, that we were just gonna go for it, and we were just gonna spend
As much time as we can, basically.
And then we'll also spend some time in the European Union. We are hoping to visit, I think the Netherlands, Germany, and France are the main countries that we are hoping to hit on the way back out. And we flew into France, so we're gonna fly back out of France. Another question that has come up when we talked about in a recent video that we were gonna be bringing our dog is that a lot of you had questions about the process and basically warning us, saying, hey, be careful, because your dog can get stuck in quarantine for 4 months. And we were like, oh, we know, we're aware of the risk, and we are trying our best to not do that or have that happen. So
far, hey, we got through everything successful.
yes, oh my gosh. Honestly, if you are looking to bring your dog into another country, it is very rewarding to have her here now and knowing that we are here and we're good. But it was the most stressful 4 days of my life. Actually, before that, because basically, in order to get here, into the UK specifically, like we had to have a pet health certificate from the US that was good for both France and the UK. And the UK specifically, basically it has to be within 10 days of entry of the country. So the way that the US system works is kind of weird. Our vet is really awesome, and they ended up driving to the USDA office and saying, hey, please, can you do this for us, and I can get it right now. If they had not done that, we might not be here right now, because we had not gotten the certificate overnighted back to us in time at the point that we were supposed to.
Yeah.
Specifically for the UK, there's different rules depending on where you're traveling from. We were in what's called the List 2 country, so we had to have a health certificate, she had to have a rabies shot, and she had to have the correct microchip, which a lot of times in the US, we don't use the same microchips as they do over here in Europe.
Yeah, so that even didn't know why. They're just like, I don't understand why we just don't use the one that she had to get to come here all the time.
Yeah. Anyway, we got her microchipped. She had a rabies test at the time that they did that, or not a test. She didn't need a test.
No. She got a booster.
Yeah,
or whatever.
she got the booster at the same time she got a new microchip. So she was good there. It has to be at least 21 days before you enter the UK. So we were good there. And then the health certificate came like the evening before we left. So like we left on a Wednesday, it came on a Tuesday night.
We got on Tuesday at like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, so it's been rough. Then when we got to the airport, basically because of the way that we booked our flights, we are gonna be spending a lot more time in the UK. You're only allowed to be in the European Union for a total of 90 days. And they were like, hey, you guys are not leaving back out of France for a long time. What's going on? And so we had to have this whole process where we had to make sure that it was okay, that we didn't have a special visa because we were traveling to the UK. Like, it was just kind of a very stressful situation.
Kinda, yeah. We had to explain to them, like, yeah, we're gonna be this place this long, and then we're flying back out of Paris. We're not gonna stay in Paris for the whole time we're there.
Yeah. You know, normally we fly and we film when we fly, but I think this was such a chaotic experience and a stressful experience that we didn't really film very much. I just filmed a little bit.
Clips that might end up in other videos, but there's not like a travel day video.
Yeah, so we got into France. France was fine. We had to wait a little while to get through customs, but like they didn't even stop us to talk to us about the dog or anything. Like, she was fine. They checked at the airport all of our stuff. Once we were cleared in Atlanta to leave, we were fine getting into France. Hey Carly, we're in France. We ended up, and this is, I think there's been some confusion. We've had people telling us that what we did was not the best way to go about doing it, that there's passenger trains from Paris to London. But as far as I know, you cannot take a dog on the passenger trains. Like the Eurostar doesn't allow dogs unless they're a service animal. So the best option for us was to take a train to Calais and then to have a taxi come through the Eurotunnel, pick us up in Calais and bring us over into Folkestone with our dog. And that was an amazing experience.
Yeah, there were some issues with the ferries apparently the last couple of days. And so our driver was late, but he made up all that time.
Yeah.
Like, he was great.
He was awesome. He was fantastic. I cannot think of the name of the service we used at the top of my head, but we will definitely leave it here so that you can have it as a reference if it's something that you're interested in using. It was not cheap. I think round trip ended up being like between the Eurotunnel itself, which I think because it's a busy weekend was like 200 and some pounds. And then the actual taxi was like 275 pounds to Rye. I think in retrospect, we had them drop us off in Rye. We're staying in Rye right now. And I'm glad that we didn't have to take another train. In retrospect, I think I would have had a do-over and just had him pick us up directly in Paris, because we got kind of stranded at the train station in Calais. And like there were language barriers because we don't speak French, and I wouldn't, you know, and the people that we were speaking with at the taxi places we were calling didn't speak very good English.
They were very nice, but there was a language barrier.
There was a language barrier, which we're the ones in a foreign country not speaking the language. That's on us. But like it just made the situation a little bit more stressful. So we were like, we're not sure if we're gonna make it in time for our dog's appointment, because she had to get her dewormer, because the last piece of entering into the UK is they have to have dewormer within, it has to be at least 24 hours before entry, but within 5 days. And so because of the way that we had our health certificate and just the way that our vet did our health certificate and then we got into France, we really needed to have that done in France. So luckily, the vet in France that we did in Calais that we went to was amazing. He charged us, I think, like 40 euro for that treatment. He was super friendly, super awesome, really nice person. He will also leave, I mean, he was great. We'll leave his name too, because I think it's in French and I don't want to mess up what it's called. But yeah, we made it here. I feel like, whew, the stress of getting our dog into France and then England is good. We're just gonna be here for a few months, and that's the plan.
Yeah.
We are gonna be just to kind of give you some of the places that we have planned, which we don't have everything even completely planned out.
We just kind of have the next few weeks right now planned.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people tell us that we need to go to Winchester, so we'll be going to Winchester. We are gonna go check out Brighton. Hopefully we'll make a video there. If the weather isn't as nice, we might have to circle back later. We don't want to have another Dover on our hands.
Yeah, fair.
We are then going to go meet up with our friends Jason and Josh in Dorset, and we're gonna do like the Jurassic Coast and maybe circle back to Kent a little bit, go up to the Yorkshire Dales, which I'm very excited. We have friends from the US, our friends in Atlanta, are flying out and meeting us in London, and we're gonna take them on a road trip, and we're gonna take them to the Isle of Skye, which we've never been to, and I feel like our friend Courtney is so excited. Scotland's like her bucket list, and so I'm just really excited that we get to basically introduce friends to the UK that have not been before.
Take them to a few places that we already know we love, and then go experience a place that we're all kind of excited about that none of us have been to before. So.
Yeah. So we'll have a lot of fun, and we're gonna go to Loch Ness, and we're gonna go up to, I think, all the way up to like Inverness as well. We're gonna go to a place called Nessieland, which seems a little bit mixed reviews about. So I'm curious if any of you out there have been, and if you can or cannot recommend it, and just tell us what it's like, because there doesn't seem to be a lot of information about it.
There's only a couple of videos and not even a ton of pictures really on the internet about it, so.
Yeah. We also got a lot of questions about Paris. And specifically when we were in Paris was in November.
Yeah.
So we were not there during
The strikes. And
the
everything.
strikes, the riots, everything, the trash, everything. However, we have been this past week and 99% normal. Like,
Yeah. There's a couple streets we went down that looked like they hadn't picked up trash yet, but most of the place, fine. And we
Yeah.
saw one group of, I guess they were protesters, like marching and chanting, but it was peaceful.
yeah, we didn't see any riots. We didn't see any cause of concern. And yeah, like Jeremy said, there was one street that had trash, and it was just this one little street near Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That was the only place that we didn't really see. We didn't really film a lot there, although I did have an amazing crepe.
We had good bread and cheese too.
Oh man, we
It was
did.
all good.
We did a few great things in Paris. We went and tried the 2018 best croissant of Paris.
Good croissant.
And it was, shoot, man, that was a good croissant. We had a baguette.
Cheese that we got from a fromagerie.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss, good.
We, we just had a lovely stroll around town and just walked around with Carly. I kept saying to Carly, do you know you're in France? Are you excited to be in France? But I don't think she understood that she was in France. I think those were the main things. Like, when are you moving? And I think the answer is that we would love to. I think one of the things that we're trying to look at or work on is we're gonna get to the point where we're gonna, like, we can't spend more time here than we do in the US. We can't literally become residents without being residents. So I think we're gonna look into some of our visa options for the future because there are some visas that would allow us to travel here more. So I think that probably is an opportunity. I also think that one of the things that we're planning to do here is to be able to just spend a little bit more time in some of the places. I think we wanted to get so much done in so little time that, you know, we're probably still gonna have a little bit of that, but I think we're gonna be able to just kind of like relax and actually take some of the places in and like spend a week there and say, like, you know, get kind of more of a vibe of like what it's like from day to day.
Because you guys might not realize this, but the 2 time trips that we went before, we were here like 2.5 weeks and 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
So we went all those places in that amount of time. So that's why some of the videos we were in one place for a day. So we'd like to spend more time in the places.
Yeah, and our last trip, we spent like basically the last week we were here in France.
Yeah,
so it was like maybe 2 weeks in the UK that we were actually in the UK. That's the situation with the moving situation. I think a lot of you guys also may or may not know, we don't really have like an actual house at this point. We put our stuff, we were living in Florida during the pandemic, and at a certain point we decided, you know what, we're gonna put everything in storage and we're gonna live out of Airbnbs and hotels and such, and we have been for basically 2 years now, 2+ years. And I think at some point we want to settle down somewhere. We're just not sure exactly where that is. Maybe Atlanta, because we have friends there. We really like it there.
Spent the last couple months before we came here there.
I don't know. If it works out that we can stay here longer term, you know, for maybe not like forever home, but maybe we can spend a few years here in the future. I don't know. If we can work it out, we'd love to do it. Anything else that you want to add?
I don't think so.
I have one more thing.
Okay.
I just want to clarify. I feel like we also, on the last video, got a lot of people telling us that Heinz beans are American, and yes, they are an American company, but there are 2 separate versions. Like, the things that you get in the UK from Heinz are very different from the things that we get in the US. Like, we do not have salad cream in the US.
Do they have Heinz ketchup here?
I don't know.
I think they probably do. That might be the same.
Heinz
but
ketchup
most of it's
is
not the same.
Yeah, like Heinz ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, like the condiments are the main ones, but ketchup is the big thing here. Pickles, I guess, too. They do some pickles.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
But yeah, like we don't have, I don't think Heinz even makes beans here. I mean, yeah, here in the US, we are here, yeah. No, anyway, I just wanted to clarify that. We get a lot, I think in several videos that we've made, we have a lot of controversy about the Heinz situation.
Yeah.
But yes, Heinz is American. We've been to the Heinz Museum. It's in Pittsburgh.
Have, actually, yeah.
Yeah. And we saw like bottles of salad cream and stuff there.
Before we come to the UK. We sent pictures to our friends that live here in the UK going, do you guys have this? My favorite, I don't know if you guys still have this. I think I was told you didn't. There was a pizza, like a frozen pizza that had beans on it.
Oh yeah, we did. We saw like containers of that at the Heinz Museum. So anyway, if you're ever in America and you want to check out the Heinz Museum, it's actually a pretty cool museum.
Fun, yeah.
They have all kinds of other exhibits, not just like Heinz products, but that is a large part of it.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. We are so excited to be here. We are so excited to have our dog here, and we will see you soon in our next video. We're actually going to show you around one of my favorite towns, the seaside town that I used to go to growing up in Washington State. Yeah.
Kind of has England vibes. So.
Yeah, kind of has England vibes. We feel like part of why we love the UK is because there's this kind of familiar vibe of home. Like it kind of feels like a second home. And I think even today, our taxi driver was asking us about like, why do you like it here so much? What about the weather? And we were like, well, the weather is not that different from the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, not really.
So anyway, thank you so much for coming along. That'll be the next video that we put out. And then we'll show you a tour of this super haunted hotel.
Yeah, we'll be showing you England videos for a while after that.
All right, thanks for watching. Thank you to our patrons. We love you guys. We'll see you soon.